From the north, back again with another interview, baby. And you know we had to take it all the way over west, you feel me? Fulton and Press Man, 1400 block, stand up, you know what I mean? I got a special guest with me today, Ant Green.
Yes,
How you feeling, my guy?
I feel amazing, man. Thank you, Boo from the North, for allowing me to come on the show, man. Give me a platform, man. I really appreciate it.
Man, definitely appreciate having you coming here, you feel me? You really taking your time out your busy schedule to really parlay and kick it with me. So before we get deep into anything, you get what I'm saying? I just want to know, where you at right now in your life, mentally and spiritually.
To be honest, bro, I'm at the best I felt in a very long time. Mentally and spiritually, because I've been taking a lot of time to get to know myself, who I am right now. I'm taking a lot of time to myself and just doing the things that make me happy, man. And spending a lot of time with my family and just trying to get to that next level. But I can't get to that next level until I accomplish what's on this level first. So I'm A1, man, for sure.
So on a scale of 1 through 10, 10 being you are great, no problems, everything is great right now. One, you at your breaking point. Where are you honestly at right now? Because I feel like men need to talk about this more.
That's a fact. Honestly, in life, bro, I want to say I would probably say an 8, because I can't say 10. No day is ever perfect. But I'm at a cool 8, because like I said, I'm in a rebuilding process right now. So the process is not over yet. And I always tell people I believe that I'm good in life and just period. I've always been good. In my journey, I'm looking towards getting great. So I would say a comfortable 8, but 8 isn't bad at all. That's, even if you look at it as a test, that's at least still a B. Still a B.
All right, so, doing some research on you, looking you up, I like to get to know who my guests are before they come on the show. I found out some interesting things about some big legacy in your family, some big names in your family, some people that, never did some things, you get what I'm saying, the average people do. Tell me about your family and the history behind it.
I could take this a lot of places. I want to say, first starting off with my grandfathers. Both of my grandfathers played in the NFL. One of them being Jim Parker, the first offensive lineman ever in the Hall of Fame, inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame. He's also in the College Football Hall of Fame as well for Ohio State Buckeyes. But he was actually the first offensive lineman ever inducted into the Hall of Fame. He's in the Baltimore Ravens Ring of Honor, 77. Played alongside Johnny Unitas. They called him Johnny Unitas' right-hand man because he'd move everything out the way. Then my other grandfather, Johnny Walton, was the first African-American quarterback ever from North Carolina to play in the NFL, and he played for the Eagles.
Okay, so outside of, the legendary Football Hall of Fame, the great, you wasn't always Ant Green, was you?
Nah, man.
What's the story behind that, man? Let us know.
So first of all, I was a lot of names, to be honest. Like you said, I'm from Fulton Press, man. So even starting out from a young boy, I always started as Mr. Rich's grandson. Then I was Man Nephew. Then I was Peebo. Then it was AJ, A-Dot. And then I went to High Life. I actually got it tatted on my arm. It was actually my first rap name. I had that tatted. But with that, I had to change that up a little bit. I was in a contractual situation that kind of went sour. So because we broke that contract, in the agreement it said that if we broke that up, I wouldn't be able to use that name for 3 years. But with that being said, I watch interviews all the time. So I watched the Tupac interview where he said, how does these people tell you they real niggas and they won't even tell you their real name? So that made me look at it look, everybody call me Ant. My last name is Green. I'm going to go by Ant Green. And I've been going by it ever since.
All right, so you had 1,000 names.
1,000 names.
Just like a lot of us in Baltimore City,
Baltimore, man.
And you got to have a couple aliases, so I understand. What was the hardest transition from Ant Green, to Ant Green from High Life? What was the hardest part about leaving everything that you started and you built with that to say I gotta start over? And like you said, Tupac said, you're not a real nigga if you can't even say your real name. So like, what was the transition? Like, what was the hardest part about that?
I wouldn't even call it hard. I just say it was the most frustrating. Because regardless, I knew I wanted to put the work in. Anybody know when you want to put the work in, ain't nothing gonna come easy that's worth anything, really. So with me, the most frustrating thing was the fact that I built this brand. You know, although it wasn't all together, I built this brand off a highlight. So whether it's emails, you know, YouTube channels, everything, all my work, even right now, you can go look up my videos from Highlight. It has nothing to do with Van Green. So I had to be able to rebrand myself in a different way, but still have people respect it and not feel as though I'm just jumping around and doing all types of things because of no reason. Nobody had to know my reason, but I still had to make it come authentic and make people believe. Because another thing, I mean, regardless, I already kind of wanted to get away from the Highlight name because that was around like the Wiz Khalifa era anyway. And everybody thought I was talking about smoking and stuff like that. I didn't even smoke at the time, so it kind of was a thing where it was like a sign anyway. Like I gotta switch it up a little bit. So it was a little frustrating, but I put the work in, and 10 years later, 11 years later, we still here as Ant Green.
All right, so I gotta say something that I know people want to know. People want to know what's going on with the eye, man. I see you wearing the eye chain, and I see you even have the eye tattoo.
Yeah.
You know, people gonna think Illuminati.
That's cool. That's cool.
So like, let us know what's going on. You feel me? Like, what's going on with the eye? You feel me?
You feel me? Because you be trying to play with me because I be with my singing now. Like I'm an R&B singer or something. So don't try to think I'm just trying to flex. But I gotta pull this up real quick. But so not even before we get to the tattoo, the eye piece right here was actually made and caught my eye when I lived in the downtown area for a couple years. It was made by a local artist in Mount Vernon. I believe her name is Sam. I think you can find her on Instagram like Vintage by Sam or something like that. And she don't even know I'm still wearing this 4 years later. I actually gotta hit her up. I gotta get a new one, stuff falling out and all that. But I got it to actually just support a local artist, and it just was something that just stuck with me. Years later, I came up on my boy Tragic, Ink by Tragic, or is it Tragic Ink? And he specializes in eyes. So while talking to him, I didn't even understand at the time what it would be for. But it's my third eye, bro. It allowed me to see more about myself and tap into more of myself and take a good look at who I was as a person, who I am, and who I want to be as a person. And now it's a never ending because it's permanently on my chest. Never ending reminder that it takes a big man to take a look at himself. And actually, if you look closer, it's actually a clock inside of it with Roman numerals. Because tomorrow's not promised. You don't know how much time we got. So I think that's the reason why I got it. It just means a lot, bro. So I'll never take this off. Hopefully, Sam can get me right. You know what I mean? Or I can go ahead and at least link up with her, get another one. But
so for the fans, there's no Illuminati, right?
There's no Illuminati. But if you think I'm getting money, just keep thinking what you're thinking. Just keep thinking what you're thinking, man.
Got you. So you got a great history and family.
Yeah.
Oh, you feel me? A strong family backing,
For sure.
But you came across a time in your life where you caught some serious gun charges.
For sure, bro. I was
can you can talk about that?
Of course.
Okay.
I was cool. And so I can talk about it because of my lawyer. Shout out Albert Alberstein. Alberstein and Diener. But at age 19, bro, I caught 3 gun charges. Gun on person, gun in the vehicle, having a gun under 21. Not to mention it was a stolen police gun. Just, typical situation coming up. I was a product of my environment. And I was also taught from my grandfather, God rest his soul, that as a man, if you ever into something, you got to take the consequences that come with that. You don't tell on anybody. You don't even open your mouth. If that's what you're getting into, it's cause and effect. I didn't wake up and land in jail. I did something that landed me in jail. So I just had to take what came with that.
And how would you feel that affected your life? How does it affect the person you are today? Are you that same person as when you first caught the charges? Or are you a whole different person?
I won't say completely different because of course I'm still have a lot of the same things, but I don't believe I'm the same person as last month, bro. The reason why I say that is because, of course, those morals still, they will remain with me for the rest of my life. Like I said, if you choose to get into something and you get in trouble, I still believe you got to take the consequences. I mean, it's cause and effect. But if you choose not to do those things, then you probably won't end up in them same situations. But as far as, how it affected me, of course, at the time I didn't understand it. But now I can look back 9 years later, 8 years later and say, I'm stronger. I understand who I am as a person a lot better. And I don't put myself in any situation. I take full control and accountability in my life. And it's been working out for me ever since. So I thank God for that situation, because there's so many people, if your life is perfect all the time, then you may not even know how to maneuver through life when things go rough. But when you go through those rough things at a young age, now that I'm older, it's like, I done seen that before. That's nothing. Well, I done been through, I'm going through this, but I done been through that and got through it. So, I'm just eating it now, just taking the punches, man. It's life.
All right, so what's going on new with you right now? We talked a little bit about your history with your family.
Okay.
We talked about, your tattoo and what the eye means to you.
Yeah.
We also elaborated a little bit on where you're from. Can you give us a little more details on how you grew up, your childhood?
Yeah, bro. I honestly, typical single mom, type of situation. I'm actually the only boy in my immediate family. I'm the oldest child. I have 4 younger sisters, 2 by my mom. My father actually had 2 girls, twins. That's 13 right now, Aaron and Amber, my babies. But I'm the only male. So I always grew up protective, very independent as well. But as far as like my life, with me, we moved out to the county when I was young, moved out to Randallstown. But after, life kept going on, it ended up where my mom was single. We kept moving back and forth from the county to the city, county to the city. So I always had my different groups of friends. I had my county friends, my city friends. So I've always seen all walks of life, which actually helped me out better because I was never stuck in one thing. A lot of my other friends from the county, they grew up in those houses, 3-car garages. They never seen any struggle. So then when life hit them at 18, they didn't even know how to move on it. But then I also had my family and my friends from the city who never even been off our block, or, their version of getting out is moving to another neighborhood still on the west side, which isn't really anything. So they don't even have no aspirations to even do anything bigger because they never seen anything bigger. But because I've seen both, it inspired me to get out and do a lot. That's what made me I moved out at 18, bro. I done lived in D.C., Atlanta, Laurel. I done been everywhere, man. East, west, everywhere. Yeah, man. So the tattoo, like I said, it was by my boy Tragic Ink. He honestly, bro, he doesn't even understand how much of a blessing he's been in my life. So for myself, just a little backstory, and I've spoke about it on other interviews as well. I felt like I've been in a little slump for a good 5 years of my life, where I always knew I was good. I ain't gonna say I never doubted myself. I've doubted myself a lot, but I always wanted to be great. And I had a lot of addictions and demons that I knew kept me from that. And I even explained these to Tragic, when he actually talked to me, but he actually enjoyed one of my songs that I haven't put out yet. So, he got the exclusive. I even sent it to his phone, which I don't do to people often, especially if they don't do music with me. But I sent him one of my songs, Mirror, which is basically me reflecting on my life and who I am, like I was explaining before, who I was as a person, who I am, and who I want to be. And he resonated with that. And so even at times, I would call Tragic, tell him I'm going to pull up. I just want to talk to him. I just want to pick his brain. I just want to know who he is as a person. And sometimes I just want to know who you as a person, and maybe even give myself an opportunity to tell you who I am as a person. Because I'm never a person, when they see me, they're like, oh, this ain't like, I'm never who you think I am. I look nothing like my life. So with the tattoo, he was so much of a blessing for me, because off of the strength of the music and everything, he ended up giving me a tattoo of the eye. And like I said, I've been had the eye, this chain on for about 3-4 years. just supporting a local artist, but he ended up tatting it right here, so I can never forget. But after reflecting and realizing, it was just, I feel like God, like Tragic was put there in my life in order to do this so that I can look and see, who are you, man? Who do you want to be? You know, what things have you done, and does that make you who you are today? And it doesn't. And I would like to say now, like all those demons, and first of all those demons that I had ever since I got this tattoo, I've been confronting head on because I've been running from them my entire life. I want to also say the addictions I had, I no longer have. I feel amazing, and I'm able to talk about it. I'm also, as of today, I was also, it's crazy, but I was also diagnosed with ADD today. I also have suffered with depression, anxiety, just like most, people, but a lot of times we don't know what it is and we don't know how to help it. And I've also had times like people see me, they don't understand, but I've even, I've also, tried to take my own life years ago when I lived in Atlanta. I never speak about this. I've never spoken about this before in my life. Only my intermediate family know about it. But it's good because somebody has to hear it. Somebody else is going to go through this. But I say that he was a blessing for me because he made me stronger. He made me look at myself and be strong enough to see those flaws that I had in my life and man up. You know what I mean? So like, for me, like I said, he's a blessing in my life. This tattoo is a blessing. It wasn't even something I was planning. But it's so crazy. My grandma gonna let this, but I think it's just real. Like, they say God don't show up when you want him to, but when he's supposed to. So, this is my time, for sure.
Yeah, so it was one point in time I remember reading up on you that you would literally drive from Baltimore to New York just to record.
Bro.
And it's a bunch of studios in Baltimore, a bunch of engineers, bunch of rappers.
Yeah.
Why New York?
Alright, so first of all, I want to clear that room up, first of all. And my boy my cousin Tay Money Mitch on Instagram, he can confirm it. I only drove to New York a couple times. I used to actually take the bus. I used to take the bus and I would get off and I would ride another hour bus ride from Manhattan to Queens to his house in order to do this. Because I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but I'm definitely a person that look at quality. I look at quality over quantity, and I'm willing to pay for quality. And my problem with a lot of studios here in Baltimore is a lot of people are here for a look. Like I said, I've been doing this over 10 years. I'm investing my own money at this point. So I don't care that you have a big studio that look good or whatever, or who you recorded that's locally that nobody even know 30 minutes down the road or in DC. I want to know if my song gonna sound good, because whatever they eat don't make me shit. So I want to make sure my song sound good because I'm spending my time investing and my money investing. But I would go up to New York because the sound was good. And the person, actually, I've been recording in New York for a good 5 years, so that's why a lot of people don't even think I'm from here. They think I'm from New York because I spent so much time there. And when I lived in DC, everybody that lived in my house was from New York and from up north. But
you don't sound like you're from Baltimore either. You don't talk like the average Baltimore guy.
First, I'm not average at all, and the thing is, I'm very cultured. I've been around. I lived in Atlanta. I done lived in DC. I done basically lived in New York basically as much as I was up there. I would go every other weekend, bro. And the thing is, what I would do is, because I practice my songs and stuff like that. So when I go, and especially because I had a job at the time, if I get my job 8 hours in a day, I'm spending at least at a minimum 8 hours in that studio to invest in my time. So imagine spending 8 hours every other weekend in one place. I'm going to start adapting over time. You know what I mean? But I love it because the thing is, I'm not trying to look to be the local star that's going to be lit in the club out here. I'm trying to be festivals, bro. I'm trying to be around, which I have done in car shows and stuff like that in New York, so it kind of trickled down. But I want to give a good shout out to my boy Ray, his First Love Music, because I was actually messing with other engineers in New York, and through the grace of God, the engineers became ass out there as well, and my product wasn't being good, so I ended up running into him to try to fix those problems, and I've been running with him ever since. And not to mention from that, I ended up landing a spot on his first album, my first time ever being on the album, Ambivalent. That was just actually released, and they actually picked my song to be the single on the album out of everybody's song, and that was a blessing, bro. So through those connections, through that hard work, through that grind, through riding the bus, even though I'm supposed to be this big person, came a lot more.
And what's the song again, and where can you find it? It's a video, right?
Yes, sir. It's called Trap. You feel me? It's called Trap. It's on YouTube. The song is on every single platform you could ever think of. Actually, it actually got 12,000 views in a month. That's just a month. And mind you, this was a song that I made at one of the low points of my life. So it's actually all real. But it's not just a dope song. It's a reminder for myself. Like I say in the hook, look what you get when you get out your mind. Just get out your mind and get to the bag. So I've been getting out my mind, getting to the bag, linking up with Reyes, and we just made something amazing come together.
So what can the fans look forward to in 2021 from Ant Green?
I want to say this first and foremost. You will never know what to expect from Ant Green. Ever. The reason why, because like I said earlier, people look at you, who was you back then? I'm not the same person I was last week, bro. I mean, I'm always evolving. I'm always looking to change. I listen to every genre. I listen to Spanish music. If you go to my YouTube, you're going to see I got Spanish sprinkled into my music. Why? Because nobody's doing it, but I love it.
All right, so I heard that you mentioned growing up with a single mom.
Yeah.
So what's the story with your dad? Like, what's going on with him? Do you talk now?
Yes, sir. Dad, you talking about Big Ant, or Tony. That's why I'm Ant. I tell people don't call me Tony. Just because for a long time in my life, bro, well, for one, I want to start by saying my father did 20 years. He was arrested, did his time, came home. But my father and us, we always had we always had a rocky relationship. It became something where he wasn't in my life when I was young. Like I said, he was locked up for 20 years. But as I got older, I became very disrespectful because I didn't understand. And I didn't take the time to understand. So all I knew was frustration. And I even said, not to put too much of our business out there, but it was even to the point where, like, he would always reach out to me, try to be cool, and I would tell him, like, bro, we could be cool, we just gotta shoot it first. We gotta fight. After we fight, we can be cool. Because that was my mentality at the time. But I want to honestly say I love my dad to death. I actually spent my first birthday with him this year when I turned 29. I spent his birthday with him as well. I didn't even know his birthday, how old he was, nothing. And the more I've learned about him, the more I know about myself, because I'm nothing like my mother. I'm so much like him. And so, I respect him for everything he's done. Because no matter how many times I disrespected him or whatever, he never stopped reaching out, never stopped trying. And that's something that I would want for myself, because I know I'm very impatient. So I'd be like, oh, word, you ain't messing with me? Like, go ahead. But him, he still took the punches, took it on the chin, and kept going. And it's been good ever since, bro. I talk to him at least every day, every other day. It's going great, bro.
Okay, so I know for a fact the ladies want to know. Is it a special lady in your life? Are you a player? You feel me? That just crush a lot? You feel me? But yeah, like, how are you in women? Does it come easy? Are you focused and not really worried about women right now? Are women a distraction to you in your life?
I'll say women have been one of my biggest downfalls my entire life. Where they've been my biggest distraction my entire life. So at this time in my life, and also because, like I said, I'm the oldest boy, I have all sisters, I'm very comfortable with talking to women, I'm very comfortable being around women. I'm actually more comfortable being around women than men because of the fact that how I was raised, I never been like that creep, none of that. But a lot of times, even me being around, they may take it as another way, and I don't even see it as that. But myself right now, bro, I'm 100% focused on myself. Anything that doesn't have anything to do with myself, I'm not involved with. Any woman that doesn't understand that I'm focused on myself, I'm not involved with, because I love myself enough at this moment that I'm 100% looking at myself. So to answer your question, I don't have a significant other. I'm not looking either at the time. I love friends. At this time, especially in my life, I need real friends, not the ones that just say, oh, you're my best friend because I'm attractive or whatever, or I can offer you anything. But like, just genuine people. I'm involved with genuine people, but I take and try to use at least the most out of my 24 hours to better myself. What they say, to be something you never been, you gotta do stuff you never did. I never really sung like that. And don't get it twisted, I still could rap, you know what I'm saying? I'm still better than most people, as a fact. And if not, my work ethic is crazy. So, but when it comes to the singing, I've been falling in love with it because something that's so crazy and actually so wild is I actually made a song with you. Actually, my favorite song, Hopeless, where we was singing, and it's like through my singing, I've actually been able to make music that I can call real music. Music that makes me laugh, music that makes me cry, music that resonates, like that I can sing and you can feel the pain in my voice, whether it sounds like I'm crying or whether I'm really crying or whatever. But with me singing, I've been able to pull so many emotions out. So definitely can expect a lot more singing. I also just tapped into acting and modeling too. You feel me? So I'm just doing everything, man. Wherever God want to place me, I'm coming, man. That's it.
Well, I definitely. This probably is my favorite interview.
Yeah.
This is probably my favorite interview. I definitely appreciate you, man. Appreciate you coming through, giving the world a piece of you.
Sir.
A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people can't come from where you from and become who you are today. And I know in the future you'll become even greater. Man, you feel me? You're a great guy, man. Make sure you check him out. Let them know, let the fans know where they can find you at all platforms, all social media.
So I want to say this. Before I even do that, well, it's easy. I'm gonna say that first. You know, I want to say so first. You know, for my little plugins, real quick, you can find me online at Ant Green, ANT space GREENE on the gram. It's Ant Green _ Everything is just Ant Green. You can go to YouTube right now, just type in Ant Green. You might see old stuff come up. But that's not even the important thing for me. The important thing for me is I want to leave people with, like you just said, I've done a lot of stuff that most people haven't done from my neighborhood or whatever, but it's been done. So anything that's been done before means it's not impossible. And the reason why I do it is because I'm not a boss, I'm a leader. I show by example. So I wanna show this because I'm not the first person that's gone through hardships. I'm not the first person that gone through legal troubles. I'm not the last one. But I'm one that's done it and overcome it. And I know that if I did it, I can reach down, but I can also reach down and impact people better if they don't see that I did it. Not something I'm just saying. I'm saying I actually did this and lived it, and it's a never-ending journey. I always want to find out more stuff about myself. But if I done it and somebody else done it, you can too. And if not, maybe it just never been done before. Maybe you have to be the first one. But don't nothing get started until you actually do something. Thank you.
And it's Boot from the North back with another banger. Ant Green, Boot from the North. We out.